So for the past 3 years, I have been the sole fundraiser for a nonprofit music organization. And I've had some successes and I've also had some failures. And so today I want to share with you 5 super important tips as you begin to seek out those who can help fund your next musical idea. I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I made. So today I'm going to help you. And trust me, there are people out there who want to financially support you and help you reach your goal. You just have to know how to find them, where to find them, and today I'm going to help you with all of that. Let's go. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Rod Vester, and this is the best place for musicians who want to develop skills on and off the instrument. So today we are talking about funding your next musical idea, and more specifically, how to find people who can help financially support your musical idea. So I know you're busy and I know your time is valuable and I appreciate you being here. So I have included timestamps in this video so you can kind of skip around, but this video will be packed full of information, so I do encourage you to watch to the end. So let's get started. So before we jump into the 5 super important tips that I'm going to share with you today, most important is that you must believe in the idea that you're going to present to others. If you don't believe in your idea or you're kind of skeptical about it, it's just not going to come across to others. And so when you get in front of other people that you're going to be asking for them to donate to you or to help fund your project, they should be able to see and experience the passion and the love you have for your idea. And so that has to come across to the people that you're going to be asking to fund your next project. And so there's another component to this, and that is having an elevator pitch. You've probably heard this before. It's also called an elevator statement. But an elevator pitch is something that is brief. It's about 30 to 60 seconds long. And here there are a few components to the elevator pitch. Number 1, you want to share your skills. Number 2, you want to share your idea and your goals. Number 3, you want to share why this idea is important or what void does it fill, and also who will it serve. And then lastly, what impact will someone's financial contribution have on this idea or on this project? All right, so make sure you have all those components within your elevator pitch. Again, it has to be 30 to 60 seconds. And what you want to do is practice, practice, practice. So I know you're a musician probably watching this, so we have to practice anyway. And so practice your elevator pitch because you need to be able to say it just like that. So if you run across someone in the grocery store, you need to have the elevator pitch ready. If someone just catches you in the mall or anything, wherever, you want to have that elevator pitch memorized and you want to be able to just say it, at the drop of a hat. All right, so let's jump into these tips. Tip number 1 is identification. So you need to be able to identify prospect donors, okay? And so, people have said to me in the past, even with the organization that I currently lead, have you thought about writing to Oprah? Have you thought about writing to Bill Gates? And the answer is always no. Because for one, Oprah or Bill Gates may not even care about the mission of the organization that I'm working with, right? They may or may not. But then the chances of this letter or this email reaching them is like super, super slim, right? So you don't want to, go outside and just try to find a celebrity to pitch your idea to, because chances of that happening is very, very slim. Now, there are grants and things like that maybe the Gates Foundation or whatever, maybe they have grants around arts projects or whatever. And so you can apply for grants. That's one way to get money to fund your project, but we're not talking about grants today. We're talking about individual donations, okay? So how do you identify people and where do you find these people? So they are the people who are already connected to you. The people around you are the people that you first approach to give your elevator pitch to and to seek support for your project or for your idea, whatever it is, whether it's an album or whatever you are working on. Now, I know what you're probably saying. Well, everyone around me is broke. They're musicians too. All right, and there may be some truth to that. But understand that everybody has a network, okay? So you have a network. You have people that are connected to you, and then your friends and other people that you're going to approach that you already know and have some type of relationship with, they have a network. So if that person isn't able to give to you, you want to ask them to connect you with someone else, okay? Does that make sense? And so, ask them to give you access, if you will, to their network. and then you begin to pitch your ideas to others. So number one, when you identify your prospects, you're starting with people you're already connected to. Don't think you have to go outside of your circle or whatever. Now, you may get to that point where you have to do that, but start with the people already connected to you, all right? Tip number one. So let's say you want to go outside of your circle, but as you are still talking to the people within your circle. So this is step two. This is qualification. So qualification means that you need to do some type of research on the people that you're going to connect to outside of your social circle or your colleagues or whomever already connected to you. All right, so that means, you're going to go on LinkedIn or go on Google, go on their Facebook or wherever to see, what they give to already or what have they given to in the past, because this is going to give you an idea that if your idea even matches with what they are interested in, because if it's not, then it makes no sense to approach that person, okay, or these people. So you want to find, out about the prospects that you're going to approach. And so again, you can do pretty much all of this online before you contact this person, but you want to know like as much information about that person before you contact them, okay? And so because again, you want to align your passion and your idea with what they are interested in. Because if there's a match there's a more likelihood that they will give to you, okay? And so qualification is that research that you have to do on the potential prospect. All right, so number three is cultivation. Now this is most important. So cultivation is really like dating, okay? So you're gonna have to get to know the person that you're going to initially ask for money for. As you've probably seen already, the first step is never to ask for money right off the bat, okay? You have to develop like a relationship with people, okay? So cultivation is, again, it's like dating. It's getting to know the person, getting to know their passions, what they're interested in, what are their goals of philanthropy, right? So what do they give to, and what kind of tugs at the heart that they want to give to things, okay? So again, it's cultivation. You're just building this relationship with people, okay? And that can take, a month, 2 months, 3 months, it takes time, right? I mean, again, like dating, you don't, give the person you're dating something right away. Maybe, probably, hopefully. So anyway, so it's the same idea, right? Building relationship, building trust between each other. And last thing with cultivation, if you are able to, pull together like a one-pager of, your idea, something about you, like about you, your idea, the impact that it will have on the community or whatever your audience is, if it's a project, what will the project do? If you can have that kind of as a one-pager that you can give to people, something super nice that maybe, you hire like a graphic designer. If you have a friend who's a graphic designer that can put some graphics together, just on a one pager, something that you don't have to spend a lot of money on. But having this kind of takeaway for people really keeps, your idea on their mind, right? So when you meet with people in this cultivation stage, you can give them this takeaway with everything you just talked about with them. And so they have that to kind of look over it and that type of thing, okay? And so that's cultivation. So number 4 is the fun part, solicitation. All right, so this is when you're going to ask for money. And so when you do this, hopefully you have done your homework with tip number 2 with the qualification, and then cultivation, you have an idea of kind of the capacity of what they can give. Because the last thing you want to do is get in front of someone who can give you $50,000, but you only ask for $5,000, okay? That's the last thing you want to do. I made that mistake before. I asked for $50,000 and the person said yes right away. And so I knew then, like, crap, they could have given much more. But $50,000 was fine, for the project that we were working on with the organization. But this person could have given double that. They could have given $100,000, right? And so I should have asked for more, but that's fine, neither here or there. But I say to you that, you don't want to ask someone, for $50,000 who can't give $50,000. And then you also don't want to ask someone for $5,000 who could give $50,000. Does that make sense? And these are just numbers I'm throwing out. Which brings me to, no matter the amount of money you are trying to raise, all these steps will work. If it's $100, if it's $5, if it's $5,000, if it's $50,000, $100,000, these 5 steps that I'm sharing with you will work no matter what you're asking for. These are what I found work, and they're really best practices with fundraising in general. So solicitation. So I would ask for a certain amount if you feel like you need to do that. I think that sometimes helps the donor, if you just give like, hey, can you donate $500 towards this project? Okay, can you donate $100 towards this project? Whatever their capacity is. I like to give a number, so I would encourage you to do the same. If you're uncomfortable kind of doing that, you can just ask, can you make a financial contribution to my cause? Okay, so language is very important because you don't just want to ask someone if they can support you, because the support you may just mean like, yeah, they're going to cheer you on. No, you're asking for money, okay? And so you have to be comfortable doing that. And then the fifth step is the most important, I think, is stewardship. So after you have, gotten money from people, you want to make sure that you recognize them, even if it's, through email, publicly, whether it's, if you have, album cover or whatever credits or whatever you have with that you list their name in there. You don't have to list the amount, whatever. And also continue your engagement with people after they've given. They should not just hear from you again when you're asking for money again. But steward them, keep them in the loop of things, thank them and just kind of all that, but keep that connection going, because it's always easier to keep donors than to try to find new donors. All right. So you want to be able to keep the donors that you have as you're finding new donors. Okay. So here's a pro tip for you, and thank you for sticking around. So when I first started to raise money, I had a problem doing it because my personal values were impeding with my business practices. And what I mean by that is that I had my first job at the age of 16. And since the age of 16, I've never asked anyone for money. And that is not, bragging or anything. It's just, I was working and I just wanted to work. So after that, my first job at 16, I never asked my parents for money. I never asked anyone for money. And so asking someone for money, when I became an executive director was pretty hard, but I had to realize that I'm not just asking for money. I'm asking people, and you will be asking people to join a cause, okay? And so you have to kind of reframe that. So whatever your idea is, you're asking people to support that idea. You're asking people to support that mission, whatever that idea is. And hopefully what you are doing will impact others in a positive way. And so that is the reframe that you want to consider, that you're just not asking for money just to be asking for money, but you're asking people to come along a journey with you. And people who believe in what you are doing will support that financially, right? And so that's the reframe. So if you have a problem asking people for money, even in your personal life, don't let that intrude on your business life and your business practices, because you want to get your goal, off the ground and get your idea off the ground. I hope you found this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and also leave any comments in the comment section. I do read all my comments. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next week.